Hey guys, how are we doing? I'm just going to show you in this video what we've been doing around the garage. We've been working on the 205s. Tyga's really gotten stuck into the Mi16. Just watch me out here because you can see there's a camper van up on the lift. He's been at the 205 Mi16. Quite a tricky job. So I'm going to talk a little bit about this one. What's been done to it and what needs to be done to it. Here is the dangling here. The strut. He's been just reconditioning those kind of bits and pieces. And we're going to see, can we get it started up today? So I'm going to talk about why it's not starting up and see if we have any luck today, for once, if we can get it actually fired up. And I have a few exciting bits to talk about in this video as well. So make sure you stick around and see how we get on. And here we go. So here is the inside of the 205. I just had to flash it here because the car is in this really lovely, tiny little corner because there's so many cars in here, trying to keep them dry and fresh over the winter. And the car is in do you know what? It looks worse than it is with the door card there, because I think that door, if I remember correctly, I think Tyke said that it broke, the latch there. Just zoom in there on it. The latch there actually broke or something like that. So I think he just had to get at that. It probably didn't even break. There's like a so you have like a bar that runs all along there to the lock, and that, like, when you pull the lever, the whole thing shifts forward, and that's what pulls the latch and opens the door. So I'd say that just disconnected at some point. Here is the classic interior of a 205. You've probably seen one of my earlier videos, but I particularly like this one because it is the higher spec one. It's the nicest one. So usually they're anthracite grey. It's like just basically a grey color. But this one is black. Okay, so it's a nicer color. I prefer it because it looks a bit more, I don't even know, what would you say? It just looks a bit more, not durable, but just well built. And then you have, like, I think it's like a very, very thin leather there that goes over this piece. We have our fuses, what do you call this, fuse board here. And here we have our gauges. Now my phone is doing okay at the moment with the dark interior here. I hope you can see everything, but yeah, everything is in working order. The issue with the car, I'm going to bring you back out to see the engine of the car. Let's have a look at it. So this is powered by a 1.9 litre Mi16 engine. So it is a twin cam engine, and you can see here the two cams. So when you hear a twin cam, it just means basically the engine has two cams. Just in case, usually these were an 8 valve. So they were an 8 valve, either 1.6 or 1.9. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think all the Miami Blues came with the 1.9, or the majority of them at least. But yeah, this one was converted by the previous owner to the Mi16 engine, so it's just more powerful, a bit more kick in it than the 1.6 or the 1.9s. Has the nicer 15-inch wheels as well. It is a really nice car, to be fair. Nice spec engine. It has all the, I think it has bigger brakes and things like that. So the car was bought 7 years ago, and it's just been literally sat up into this corner, because what happened was, we like to do timing belts before when we buy a new car. We always do the timing belt because you don't really know the history of an engine. And he started that, and just more and more things got in the way. We picked up more cars, and more important jobs kept creeping up that needed to be addressed, and years go by, and yeah, so it's just been set up for a very long time. Been trying to get all the 205s on the road at the same time. So I have a white one, which is in the garage at the moment, and I called into them today actually on my way home, and we kind of said, look, I'll take it home because all that needs to be done with it, they did a good bit of work to be fair. And it just needs to, so what's happening is the starter is still engaging. Same thing happened with the red one that we have another one, a red one inside here. So you've probably seen this one in a different video, or if it's just your first time seeing the channel, we also have a red one. So the white one, a red one, and the blue one, the French flag. So the starter was staying engaged even when you swing the key. You could still hear the starter going, and it's a really rotten sound. So that was happening to the red one, and that's what was happening to my white one. I gave it into a garage after I restored it, just to sort it out and to sort out a few bits. In the rear, some welding was needed around the fuel tank. It's a common issue with them. And just a few niggly bits like that. The timing belt needed to be tightened. The drive shaft was changed, but it just wasn't sitting in correctly. Just a few bits like that. Years again go by. They're quite busy, so they didn't really get around to finishing it off. And I said, look, myself and Ty can go at it for a day and finish it off. All that we need, what we're going to do is we're going to put a starter switch running from the starter into the car, and that way you can push start it, disengage, and that way the starter will turn off naturally by itself. But of course, we want to figure out why it's doing that as well. Just probably an earth or somewhere like that. Yeah. So this car, as I mentioned, sorry, I went off trail there a little bit. So this car, timing belt has been done, sat for 7 years, and he just decided, do you know what, I'm going to tackle that car. There's not a whole lot to be done to it, and he's gotten the timing belt done. So that's all good. The timing, he checked it and everything. There's a special tool to check that, and it's all good. He's getting power to the coil. So this is our coil here, and we have our distributor here. So there's power getting to this, but the fuel pump isn't coming on, and we're not getting spark. So these cars, I mean, there's an aftermarket immobilizer in it. I can't think of the brand right now off the top of my head, but we're wondering, is that what's causing it? But what you do is with those aftermarket immobilizers is you press the button, turn on your key, and you get the two indicators kind of give a flash, and you hear clicking going on, and that usually means that you're good to go and to fire up the car. But we're not getting spark here. So what could be causing that? Sorry, there's another car in behind me, and as you can see, space is tight. So we're not getting spark here. So I'm wondering, and we're not hearing the fuel pump. So I think there's something where if the fuel pump isn't priming, then you're not going to get spark. I think it can detect that. Or if I'm wrong, it could also be the fuel pump relay. Because I don't think, like, to me, that aftermarket immobilizer is clicking. So it's doing something. So that's what we're going to check today and see how we get on. So we'll keep you updated, and hopefully we can get it fired up. And before we get stuck into the wiring, Tyke is just tackling some engine mounts and suspension parts beforehand. Okay, so let the fun begin. So what you're looking at here is the fuel pump. We also have both the feed and return attached to the fuel pump. Now our issue is that the fuel pump is not engaging, it's not switching on, sending fuel to the engine. So what we need to figure out is, are we getting power to the fuel pump, or is it a faulty fuel pump itself? So what we're doing is we're hooking up our multimeter to the actual plug itself, and straight away that will tell us whether or not we're getting power to the fuel pump. Unfortunately, as you can see from the multimeter, we are not getting anywhere near the amount of power that's required to get the fuel pump fired up. So obviously the immobilizer is restricting power coming back there. We're just having a look under the dash to see is there any kind of a wire that might have come undone or that we might have missed, but unfortunately we did not find anything. So after carrying out this test, unfortunately it's looking like we may need to rip out the immobilizer and bypass it. Probably for the better, because you don't want to be out driving somewhere and have the immobilizer fail on you. This is a little bit of a big job because it runs in along the dash and the inside of it, so I'm not sure if the dash needs to be removed entirely. We'll have to investigate the wiring and see what's going on there. At least we've been able to narrow down what the issue probably is, and we're going to investigate that a little bit further off screen. Hopefully in the next video I'm going to have a little bit more progress for you. It's certainly not going to be a quick project where we get the car back on the road within a week. It's maybe going to take a couple of months to really get this car back to driving condition. It's certainly a beautiful car though, and it's really motivating to see the car starting to shape up again after being in this corner in the garage for quite a few years. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope you find this particular project interesting. Let me know in the comments, and thanks a million for watching.